Hi, I'm Stephanie with Board Game Geek here at Origins 2017. Mara and Chris with Greater Than Games and Dice Hate Me Games have joined us to talk about our fate, which is apparently in the hands of the Elder Gods. Which sounds terrifying. So normally it's obviously, it has tentacles and stuff on it. It's a H.P. Lovecraft inspired game, but you're not playing as the investigators, which is what we are typically used to doing. We are actually playing the Elder Gods, and cultists are helping us to, I guess, devour.
To summon doom for all humanity, basically, yes.
Exactly. Sounds good. Okay, well, let's just do that. Yeah, so how does Fate of the Elder Gods work? What kind of game is that?
So Fate of the Elder Gods in general is a spell management, area control type of game. I know spell management sounds a little nebulous, but anyway.
It's a little engine building.
A little engine building, absolutely. So basically in every game, this is a Fate piece, and we have the altar here, and there are 6 locations around the altar. The little Cthulhu piece.
Let's look at these miniatures for a second.
Look at that.
Let's zoom in on those minis. I can see that there.
Yeah, we did a great ink wash. They turned out beautifully.
Yeah,
so this is actually how they'll get the miniatures in the game.
Yeah, the ink wash is going to be a little more pronounced than the green one, but you can see it really nicely on the gray
on the
one.
gray.
So,
yeah. Cool. They look very weathered. They look mad.
They look very angry. You'll get to see the monsters in a little bit, and they look even more angry.
Okay, so that one will go around this,
so basically you choose,
clock.
in a 3 or 4 player game, you'll have 1 Fate piece, and a 2 player game, you'll use 2 for blocking.
Okay. So
but essentially what you'll do is you'll have a hand of spell cards. Normally you'll start with 3. Let's do something like this. So hands of spell cards, they match 5 different astral symbols around the board. There is a 6th astral symbol here in the other worlds, but we'll get to that in a second. But you'll start with a hand of spell cards, and they match symbols on the back.
And the back of them are actually the symbols.
Yes, exactly. And you can also see on the front, I'm not sure which camera to show to. Okay.
So right here facing us,
Okay.
Like this.
Like that.
Like this.
Okay. Like that.
There we go.
Okay. All right, so you also see that the symbol here matches what was on the back.
Yep.
And along the top, you have things that are which you'll need in the astral columns to ready those spells.
Okay.
But the first thing you're going to be playing a spell card for is to move around the board. So let's say that I wanted to go to the museum. So I would take this card, I would put it face down in this astral column, and I would pick up the Cthulhu piece and move to the museum.
Okay.
And I would take, let's say I was playing
And you do
yellow.
that, you drop it off where you were.
Yep.
And then you move to the symbol, which is right here, or
Yes.
same thing
Yeah,
on the back, it matches, and you go to that place. So that's why you moved that one to the museum.
And let's just say that I was playing yellow. I would drop one of my cultists off in that location, and because I'm doing something nefarious, an investigator would come along and say, "Hey, what are you doing in the museum?"
You've raised some eyebrows.
Well, they're investigating.
We're investigating. That's what they do. That's what they live to do. So you would check if before you went there, if there are 3 or more investigators, you're fine. Otherwise, the investigators would go to your lodge, and they start to cause trouble there. So the investigators come along, then you're going to activate a basic ability there, which the museum allows you to take.
And each one has a different ability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The museum for instance, would allow you to take an artifact.
Yeah. Seems good.
Seems good. So you got the
See, this one seems really good. The
Well, that's
Necronomicon.
one of the best in the game. You do become cursed when you take it, which we'll talk about curses in a minute.
Yep.
But Necronomicon, you would take that, you put it in front of you, and during the game you get special abilities. Necronomicon you can tap to actually help you cast spells, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Then you also check for control. Now control means that I would have 3 of my cultists in that location and more than any other cultist, and if that's the case, I can activate a control ability.
So you would not have control if
That is correct.
there were 4 there from some of the other places.
Exactly. And so each individual location also has a control ability in addition to the basic action that you can enact. In each individual, like for instance, one thing that's cool about the game, obviously, is the Elder God that you're serving, your ancient one you're serving. So it has up here the Dark Gift. So like Nyarlathotep has the Dark Gift of Masks, which allows you to destroy a cultist from each other cult's lodge and then place an investigator on each other cult's lodge. So they're really pesky. And that's activated by going to the ceremony, which activates your Dark Gift.
So you perform some sort of ceremony, and you can see that it's got this symbol that matches the Dark Gift there.
Exactly. So essentially what you're doing is you're exerting control over locations. To activate some of the control abilities of the locations, you're going to have to sacrifice cultists. So for instance, if I was at the ceremony and I had control, and I wanted to activate the control ability, I would sacrifice those 2 cultists to the Abyss, and I would raise one on my summon track, which is one of the win conditions.
Right. So, and this is the summon track. So you want to get here?
Well, you start here and you want to get to the 9.
You want to get to the 9. Okay,
I forgot to put the summon tokens out, but you'll move your summon token around the track until you get to 9.
Okay.
One of the other win conditions in the game is actually you losing. So when I mentioned the investigators,
Yeah.
they can sometimes come around and they will raid your lodge.
They will come into my lodge. Yeah.
And in that case, if you have 5 or more investigators, we'll pretend there's like 5
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay. If you have
You will
5 or
take
more.
dice equal to the number of investigators there. You'll roll them, and for every elder sign or elder star that you roll, you'll get an elder sign on your summon track, which are these little things
Oh
right
yes,
here.
and those will start to block off.
Yeah. They start backwards and start filling in.
Yeah. Can't even ever understand what you're saying.
I had no idea what this
I
is.
heard vouchers.
Vouchers. I think it's for the exhibitors. All right, so
So you start to put
you
the
would start to put elder
signs.
signs on, exactly. They would start to fill up. And if they ever fill all the way up to the top and the entire thing is filled, your elder god is sealed off for all eternity. You cannot win, you have lost, and whoever has the fewest elder signs in the game wins.
What happens is someone else won Arkham Horror whenever you
Right,
did that.
exactly. The investigators won Arkham Horror, the other ones are like,
Yeah,
I live
yeah.
to fight another day.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the main gist. Area control, but also you can lose control by having to sacrifice doing different abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Streets of Arkham really quickly allow you to tattletale on everybody else. So they'll go and tattle, whisper in the ears of investigators and send investigators to other people's lodges.
Yep.
The Gathering is how you get more people out of the Abyss back into your lodge.
Yeah.
The library, you can gain even more spells and add them to your hand. And normally you can only ready 1 spell a turn, but at the library, if you're able to ready 2. And if you have control here, you can cast a spell for free.
Mm-hmm.
And the other worlds is where you will actually get the most summoning points. You're actually throwing cultists into the Abyss for all eternity, and so you can gain favor with your
Right,
elder god.
right.
Yeah.
And so the spells actually kind of, you can build an engine with these, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
once you have them, then you can use them as a symbol to help ready another
Yeah,
spell.
like
Is that right?
Yeah, like for instance, after you ready the symbol, they'll go in front of your spell reserve. You can hold it to 3. And now, the way you would ready a spell is like, for instance, we have like things that fill up into astral columns.
Yep.
And you'll look at symbols depending on what's on the front of spells. And then you will have also these symbols here that match what are on these, and
Right.
that allows you to ready them and put them in your spell reserve. And you can use them to generate more and more spells.
Yeah, yeah.
And at any time during the game, unless specified on the card, otherwise you can always just flip it over and cast the actual spell for it. You would discard it at that point, but as long as you still have it in your readies and reserves, you can ready more spells.
Yeah, awesome. So I just want to show off some of the artwork is amazing. I remember you teasing this on Twitter, kind of the artwork that you were starting to create for the game. So we've seen Nyarlathotep there, but there's Cthulhu and some of the other ones. Yellow King there. Ithaqua.
Ithaqua, yes. He's fun too because he gets individual like squall tokens he can put on locations, and when it freezes people and things.
It's not
so.
just a university in New York. Yug Sothoth there. Oh, you know.
Atlaknaka.
Just your regular old common house spider.
So Bakrug, and we can probably talk about curses with Bakrug, which is one of the most fun. Well, Sithagwa was my favorite, but anyway.
That's
So
terrible.
Bakrug is cool. Yeah, he's terrifying, right? So Bakrug is cool because sometime during the game you're going to get cursed. And,
Seems like that would be good.
well, no. So either by getting elder signs or getting cursed by Bakrug or something like that, you will gain a curse, and the person to your right looks at the curse card, and it has something along the top that is a trigger. So for instance, it says when the cursed cult readies a spell or uses an artifact, then you'll read the bottom. Mortals can only control arcane magic for so long. Discard the spell or artifact without effect and become cursed. So you're going to discard it, and you're going to gain another curse on top of that that'll trigger later as well.
Yeah, okay. So being cursed is not good. Okay.
It's not good, but it's fun.
So when can we get this game? Can we get our hands on this? When can the Fate be ours?
So this looks like about the end of August for us.
Okay, end of August 2017 for this. There's also, just real quick, we'll talk about this. This is an expansion already for it, and this is Beasts from Beyond. What's included in the expansion?
Well, you get a lot of critters.
Okay, a bunch
So,
of critters. So
yeah, a
here's
bunch of
some
critters. Go
miniatures. We'll
ahead.
just kind of take some of these
Yeah.
out.
There's a Shoggoth. and Dark Young. So you can see the wash that we've applied to the minis on that, so they look really sharp. We've got Deep Ones and Goat Spawn, and Hound of Tindalos, Byakhee,
Yeah.
Hunting Har, and my favorite, the Migo.
Yeah, the Migo.
And so you can summon those as a part of the expansion. You'll get spells that will enable you to summon these to do different abilities during the game. Also, Shub is in the game, and Gatanatha is in the game, so they can control individual monsters as well, and things like that. So,
Yeah,
That's-
also terrifying. So will that also be
Just a
available?
little scarier.
yeah,
Also
exactly.
available
Yeah,
end of
same time.
August? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is The Fate of the Elder Gods.